I would consider inner healing to be the concept of returning to a loving God. And if you think about how the garden functioned, it was Adam and Eve as one. They didn't have identity or ego yet. So it was Adam and Eve as one, and the ever-present Lord was walking with them and talking with them. Then there was this other presence also there, and that was Satan, or we call him the serpent. And he was walking with them and talking with them. The Lord gave some very clear direction to Adam when at the beginning of the story during the creation process. Eve was actually not available to get that information. When Eve began to talk to the serpent, she began to listen to his voice and consider his version of the truth. And this is where it started to go bad. When she began to listen to his version of the truth, what happened was now she's got confusion within here. Are there two truths or only one truth? When she decided to exercise what God gave her, actually, he gave her will. When she decided to exercise the will, some really unfortunate stuff happened. Those emotions, that shame, that fear. Now the Lord never moved. He wasn't angry about this. He wasn't upset like, oh gosh, you've really messed it up now. He stayed there. He was right along with them in the process. In fact, they're the ones that ran away because somebody must have told them, fear God, run away. I don't know if they just came up with that brilliant idea by themselves. As they move away from God, God pursues them. This is the first instance of a loving God who cares about our mistakes. When we talk about mistakes, we're actually talking about the word sin. The word sin means like archery term, like miss the mark, or that's not the perfect response. That wouldn't be the perfect response. If the kingdom were to come here, it's not going to look like that. The only one that actually pulled it off was Jesus Christ himself. How did he pull it off? Because he never disconnected from the voice. But you see that there in chapter 3, Father God and Jesus were looking on this situation and they said, look, they've become like us now. They know good. They've always known good. And now they know evil. Now they know what evil feels like. So I call those trees in the garden the tree of life, that we will live forever, and the tree of learning. I would prefer to not call it the tree of knowledge of good and evil because it's like a big sentence and what the heck does that mean? And the Lord understands that, and his compassion, his love, he comes right alongside of him. So I call this the God who fixes. This process is actually returning to a loving God and the God who fixes through the process of salvation and the process of sanctification. The process of salvation is out of our hands because we do need a God that fixes it. He did from the very beginning, from the garden, and he still needs our cooperation. But the biggest gift that he gave us was will, and we are the one that has authority over the will. So he says, okay, well, now you have felt that. Who told you you were naked? He's drawing out the truth from them. He's drawing them closer so that they can actually confess or be known what exactly happened. They could have just been known. Me, I did it. I made a mistake. I got deceived. I disobeyed. You hear that? Eve, she got deceived. Oops. Adam, he disobeyed. Oops. So my definition of sin is oops. And how do we know we oops? Because it causes pain. It's going to cause me pain or someone I love pain. The story continues and he says, okay, well, let me fix it. So he draws alongside and he fixes it and he says, okay, now that you have will, now that you're in this learning curve and you're going to work through this learning process of this voice, which has one version of the truth and version of reality, and this voice, the loving voice, the kind voice, the God who fixes. We have a choice. He took that tree of life away from us and guarded us from going there so that we wouldn't continue to make these mistakes, suffer this terrible feeling, continue to cause this terrible feeling for eternity. So he says, now I'll just bring you home, that's fine, no problem, come home, and you gave it your best shot. You see, in Genesis, they went away from his voice, who left the garden with her. And farther into the book, Exodus, they're so far away from that voice And so now they're having even bigger problems where Moses is going to have to go get some laws to lay down. Not listening to the voice, you don't listen to my voice, then you get rules through sacrifices and offerings. Well, this is where the first phase ends, but we continue on after salvation comes, after Jesus comes. He also does another fix. He's like, okay, I'm not going to leave you as an orphan though, because those guilts are piling up. I'm going to give you a way to totally not just clean your sin, but actually clean the temple. Sanctify yourself, be holy as he is holy. And this begins the process that now we embrace with our will, with our decision. Jesus said it twice in Hebrews. How did he do God's will? He never disconnected from the voice. Even when sin came against him, even when pain happened to him, he didn't disconnect. Even when sin was a potential option for him, he didn't disconnect. He stayed connected to the voice, and he did God's will. And we will also become the image and likeness of him. It's going to take us a little practice, and sometimes we flub it up and fail, and then we get into the process of grace. And it's all a tight package, and it's such a wonderful gift that we have a way out of this world of distress. And we have an option to counteract this voice that compels our behavior and disintegrates our value, where we lose sight of who we are. From the beginning, we were his sons and daughters, and it shall be forever and ever. We're just coming back into that revelation through the ability to connect.